Good morning. It's Sunday morning, coffee talk. We're going to be talking 49ers and, we're just going to have a good show. We might have a couple friends that might join. If anyone in the chat would like to join, we'll take questions right now and we're just going to hold off until we continue on. Um, this is, again, the Niners channel. It's a Niners coffee channel. It's not officially sponsored by the Niners or any kind of big coffee talk, out there, but um, we like to come on. We like to talk about the team, people's opinions, people's feelings, and facts, the stats, the game, everything that you can think of. So, first off, I want to say good morning to Miss Tony Culp, Mr. John Jay, and Mr. Damian Lee. It's always great to have you guys and see you. So, let you guys know something really cool. Tony, my wife's channel is growing. She's going to continue to grow and continue to thrive. And one thing that she's going to be able to do is, you know, sometimes, you can give people stuff and you can say, hey, thank you for being here. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Tim, thank you, little bud. You're not a little bud anymore, but I've known you since you were little. Tim is a good friend of my family and a good friend of mine. Carcass, good to see you as well. So since you guys are here, if you guys know anybody who is a big fan, we are going to be doing a giveaway, and it's for my wife's channel. Good morning, Deanna. Because of Deanna, we are going to be giving away. Deanna's a wonderful lady. She's my wife's aunt, and we want my wife's channel to continue to grow, and we want to be able to say thank you. And we're going to be raffling this off really soon. It's an autographed Kaepernick jersey. Again, thank you, Deanna. But that's going to be happening on my wife's channel. So if you guys can help pass the word, tell a friend who's a Niner fan or who likes sports talk. My wife's channel is a channel full of women, full of beautiful women, intelligent women who talk their mind, speak 49ers, and have a lot of fun. So definitely, if you can pass it on, we'd really like to put it out there. So if, we get into this talk, it's really just about football. It's about, our team. And, we've just come out of preseason. Seems like we've had a couple injuries, and now we're trying to make a push. So I believe on Tuesday is the 29th. I believe the 29th is cut day. So it sounds like we're going to be losing a lot of people, and we might be gaining a couple people too. So keep your eyes out. And if you play fantasy football, I like to show this magazine. I like this magazine. If you play fantasy football, go ahead and take a look around the league of some players who might not be on the team. There's a lot of players out there that are really, really good, and they just might not make the fit for the spot that they're at because something just might not be right. But if you take one player like Steve Young from Tampa Bay and you put him in San Francisco, that seemed to work. Or if you take maybe Alex Smith and put him in Kansas City, he did better. So it's just one of those things. Other players, a lot of players right now we might end up being able to stash away. This sounds like we lost Latu. Latu sounds like he had a meniscus torn. So I think we're going to end up having to redshirt him for the season. And then it's one of those things. Injuries happen. So when injuries happen, sometimes it opens the door for older players to stick around or newer players to make a name or grab a spot. You got the tight ends, and I think Tony and I were talking about it the other day. We said it's going to be Kittle. It's going to be probably Dwelly, Warner, and Willis at this point because Latu is going to probably end up being injured the entire season. And it's sad. It's sad. I want a right tackle too, Damian. Now, Damian Lee, this is a good question. If you could pick a right tackle from any team and you could poach him from them, what right tackle would you go for? Because I think we got to really solidify that line. I'm not upset just yet, and I don't know about Colt McKivitz. I think that's our right tackle at this point. But if he comes off and he does really well, then we shouldn't be afraid or worried. But if he turns out to need a lot of help, then we definitely are going to have to. And hey, you know what? The good thing about next year is we got a first-round pick. We definitely have a first-round pick. So with the first round pick, the 49ers select right tackle from Notre Dame. I'm just throwing out Notre Dame. I like Notre Dame. So thank you guys for all coming. CarCast, appreciate you. Bebop, the man, the myth, the legend, as always. So thank you. Appreciate it. Just ran my fingers through it, honestly. So there is 2 in Kansas City. Thank you, Damien. There is 2 in Kansas City. They're trying to get rid of 1. The only thing about Kansas City, though, is they seem to let players go, and we end up picking them up, and we end up getting stuck with a bad contract. And I don't know about that. But sometimes Kansas City players work out for us. It usually works out better when we let our players go to Kansas City. They seem to be able to turn it around and do something special with them. Joe gave him something. I think Steve Bono went over there. Ellis Gerback went over there, I believe. And then, we know Alex Smith. So we're just like a quarterback factory for Kansas City. So Troy Fumagalli is a switchblade. Surprised me this preseason. Yeah, I think we're going to end up stashing him on the practice squad. I really like him. I think he's going to be a good player. He's been there, but yeah, I don't think we're going to be able to keep 5. So what's up with the kickers, guys? Let me know what you think in the chat too. We went up for a kicker, Jake Moody. He got injured. Then we have Zane Gonzalez, who we had already traded for, and we absolutely traded and got for basically nothing. He was injured. So we got 2 injured kickers, but then Zane Gonzalez comes into camp healthy. Moody comes into camp healthy from college. And Moody was doing good in practice. Zane Gonzalez looked like he was doing good in practice. And then all of a sudden we have no kickers for the final preseason game. That just doesn't seem right or sound right. One guy had so Moody had a quad injury, the right quad. That's not good because that's his kicking leg. And then Zane Gonzalez had a calf injury, right leg, same kicking leg. How do you pull a calf? You don't stretch long enough. Come on. I don't get this. You're a kicker. You're supposed to keep your legs in top tier shape. So, and then poor Mitch Wisnowski, one of my favorite players. He's a punter. He's a punter, not a field goal kicker. You would think, that goes hand in hand. It really doesn't. It's a totally different beast. When you're punting, you're dropping the ball and you're kicking it. You're kicking it at a different angle. You can kick it in several different places and manipulate the ball where if you get decent at it. If you've ever played hacky sack or anything like that, you can know how to fling the ball left or right, or the little sack pause. So we're gonna just keep talking. And the field goal kicker, his job is to kick it when someone's holding it or kicking it off a tee, and it's lower from the ground. He's more like kicking a soccer ball higher into the air, where it's just one of those things. You think you can both do it, and most players can, when they're playing college or high school, they do have to do it. And then at one point they decide, this is where I'm going with it, or this is where I'm going with it. And sometimes you meet people who's played football and they never kicked field goals. They just punted, and they were like a tight end, or they were, just off the wall, someone. So good morning, Ted. Sometimes I get into my thoughts, but kickers and punters are different. And yes, Fumagalli is good. Good morning, Ted. And thank you again, Mr. John J. So Mitch Wisnowski, he shanked a couple of kicks, the other day, and that's not good. And I haven't heard just yet, but I'm pretty sure we're not keeping Zane Gonzalez. I think he's going to end up going to the practice squad and not making waivers. I don't see us trading anybody at this point. And I just don't see that happening. Now, as far as Moody, if Moody really is hurt, then they might put him on the IR, and I believe that would put him back for 4 weeks. That would be the only reason we'd keep Zane Gonzalez. But again, if you had an injury last year with Carolina, and now you're having an injury this year, it doesn't sound good for you. Robbie is been thrown out there a couple times, Robbie Gould, and he might get signed before too long. I watched a couple highlight clips last night of the Cowboy game, and I don't like watching the Cowboys, but they were playing the Raiders, and I don't really like watching the Raiders either. No, I watch the Raiders every once in a while. They're my brother's teams. But the Cowboys kicker missed a kick too. And I thought that was really funny because I thought they handled that last year. It seemed like they had a different kicker out there this time, and he shanked a kick too. So it happens. It's preseason. We don't need to freak out just yet. The points do matter, but they're not the worst thing. What we do need to worry about is holding on to the ball when we get up to the end zone. When we're in the red zone, we don't fumble. Jordan Mason, JP Mason, Jordan Mason, number 24. He's a good back, but if he fumbles, he's not going to be here. Kyle will not have that at all in the game. Then the other thing you have to look at is the run defense. We are getting just gashed. People are just running straight through the lines. And I know Eric Armstead wasn't really out there, and Kinlaw was doing a lot, but you got to be able to stop the run. And if the linebackers aren't in the gaps that they need to be, and they're getting ran past or ran right by, again, I know they're not the starting linebackers, but these guys are one day going to start, one day going to be out there. It's preseason. It doesn't count, right? Well, it does count. It's a statement. You have to begin with something. And if this is what we're starting with, guys, you guys need to go back to the drawing boards. You guys need to start looking at your tablets a little bit more, doing some film, and then you guys need to go play some football because you guys can't be letting these guys run down your throats. We don't have to worry about the pass. If they're running 70-yard runs on us, then, there we go. And if we go out there and we don't convert one or two times, then they can just keep running. Then their clock is just running, right? And we're standing on the sidelines. You can't win the game if you're on the sidelines. Cannot count on your defense to convert and make fumbles and interceptions and turnovers. That's something that you have to be lucky about, and you don't want to win a game because you're lucky. That's like waiting for your kicker to line up at the end of the game. Fingers crossed. Is he going to make it? Are we lucky? So let's see what Damien said. And I really do appreciate Damien. Damien been on the show a couple times, and he's right. He said, remember when I came on your show and I said by week 7 the defense will work? Yes, I do remember that. But by week 7, how many games do we lose because of the defense? And the first team we're playing is Pittsburgh, and when Pittsburgh runs the ball. So this is going to be definitely a big test for our defense as well as our offense. Our offense has to keep their defense on the field. If their offense is on the field, it's not going to be because of their quarterback dinking and dunking. It's going to be because they're running the ball. Okay, Ted says, should have drafted him in 2020. Yep. Okay, Steve-O. Let's see what Steve-O says. Got to be careful. Sometimes Steve-O, he'll say some stuff and got to read it before you put it on. IR before the season, you have to miss the whole season. No, I think if you go on IR, you can be there for 4 games. I think that's the limit you have to miss out. And then after that, you can come back to the team, or you can be redshirted the entire team. But when they bring you back on the team, they have to let somebody go. They have to have a spot for you to come. But thank you guys, everybody, for coming. Make sure you have something to drink, nice cold cup of coffee or hot coffee or glass of water. I had water this morning. It's always good to stay, refreshed, hydrated, especially during the time of the heat. So do you guys agree? Is Kinlaw a bust? I don't like saying Kinlaw is a bust. I don't like what happened with him and Grant Cohn. I don't like what happened with him just in the whole eyes of the fans, the nation, that's just not mature. But you got to stand up for yourself too. And if you really thought, Mr. Grant Cohn was picking on you that bad, then you could have done it in a different way. But the way you did it was your way. And like Frank Sinatra, you did it your way. And hey, it worked out because I guess you guys came together and you talked about it. And he wants you to do good. You want to do good. And it seems like you're doing better. So, again, do you guys think Kinlaw is a bust? At this time, I think he's got a lot of talent. If you watched him in the game, he was making pushes. He was getting towards the quarterback. He was helping the other players get towards the quarterback. But I think sometimes when he was pushing, his over pursuit was just a little bit too much. I think he should have been further back trying to stop the run. Instead, he was trying to sack the quarterback. But if you go back and you just go after the quarterback every down, and you get him 1 out of 3 times, or you get him 2 out of 3 times, or you make noise in the backfield, sooner or later he's going to get tired, and sooner or later you will continue to get to him. And I think that does have a big deal to deal with it. If you got another guy coming up there, imagine when we do have Bosa out there, and we have Kinlaw and Bosa and Armstead all running, and they're attacking. Somebody does have to stay back and protect the run. But if you get to the quarterback, that's the end of the game, right? You just got every snap. If you can get to the quarterback, then you don't have to worry about your defense, backfield. You don't have to worry about the linebackers. You just smash that quarterback. So pause for a second. All right, I'm back. Thank you, guys. I had to clear my throat. That was not a fun moment. So, again, Kinlaw is a bust. I don't know. I think it's just a little too early. But we got the notorious Gavin in the building. Thank you, Gavin, for showing up. If you guys have ever seen Gavin, he's a great fan. He's a great fan. He is a true Niner. He is from the great nation of Wales, I believe. And what did he say? Bryant with Latu getting injured and possibly needing surgery. Do you think we put him on the pup and free up extra raw spot for Jack Coletto? I love Jack Coletto, but I think he goes on IR. I don't know if he would go on PUP list, because I think PUP list has to do with non-football contact injury before you're in camp. I could be wrong on that, but I believe he'll end up going on IR and he'll just be redshirted the whole season. He's too valuable of a player for us just to give up on. I think if he would have been healthy, it would have been a little bit easier to say, okay, you're not making the team because of you're just not what we need right now. But because of his capital, and then he gets injured, I think it's just a little too soon to say, hey, we got to let you go. But I do see him sticking around. Now, as far as Jack Coletto, if you guys have not seen Jack Coletto, he wears number 33. He plays like Superman. He does. He plays like Roger Craig. And maybe that's giving a little bit too much credit, but the guy can play everything. He can play tight end. He can play linebacker. He can play quarterback. He can play wide receiver. He plays fullback. So I really see this guy making our team. A lot of people say, oh, no, he's going to make the practice. Well, I hope we can at least get him into some games this year, because with the versatility that he can bring to the table, you imagine somebody like CMC on the field, and then somebody like Jack Coletto on the other side of the field. If you watch the preseason, he ran down to the end. He lined up like a wide receiver. He scored touchdowns this year. I believe he will be able to play on special teams. I'm really, really hoping this guy gets in there. He's a Duck. He's an Oregon Duck. So I don't think he's going to have a hard time adapting to the California weather. I think he'll be and then I believe he's an engineer. He has a mechanical mind. He can master and memorize things very quickly. Larry Krueger did an episode with him where it was a breakdown interview. I think they went over about an hour. And if you want to go check that out, it's a good view. It's a really good view. But Jack Coletto, oh my gosh, if he makes the team, I think we have a replacement for Juice. And I really, really like Juice. Juice is a great player. We got a lot of time left with Juice, but sooner or later you gotta replace somebody. You got to let somebody go, and you got to bring somebody in. And if you're going to bring somebody in, this is the guy. I think the guy can even kick field goals. That's how pumped I am about this guy, Jack Coletto. So calm down. All right, I'm calming down, Tommy. All right. So let's see what else we got in the chat. Kinlaw, okay, going back to Gav. Kinlaw looked good this preseason. I'm not ready to write him off yet. Nope, I'm not either. Kinlaw, bigger, not necessarily like heavier, but he looks like he's bulked up or toned up. And he does look like he lost a little bit of weight, but in the areas he needed to. But he's still very massive and just a beast. And then, yep, let's see what Bebop says. 54 is a linebacker machine. And I think because of him, and because just the way the mentality is that he brings to the table, you have to have a leader in the locker room. And with him, I think he's showing the other players, this is how we want to play. I'm a linebacker for the 49ers. This is what they expect out of me, and I'm expecting this out of you. Every one of our linebackers seem to be really, really good. Okay, let's go. Have for your captain. Okay. So, if you guys want to throw your thoughts in the chat for who could be possibly captain, we did a show on it a couple weeks ago. I think everybody's making the captain spot that was previously in the captain spot except Jimmy Ward. And at that point, I think we probably bring in somebody like, I'd love to see Juice in there. I'd love to see Juice as a captain. All right, so let's see what Gavin said again. Yeah, that's nice talking to you, John Jay, and looking to this hangout later. Maybe I'll keep you guys posted. Cool. So there's going to be a show later. All right. And then we got Terradome. Terradome, what's up, Terradome? Good morning, Terradome. And then Willie, thank you for showing up. We appreciate you as well. And yes, Jack Coletto is the truth. Please go watch him in preseason. He's the guy who scored the touchdown, the touchdown against the Broncos. Then he's just going to be a fantastic player. If we can hold on to him, oh man, I'm really excited. I'm afraid if we let him go, he's going to Seattle. I got a feeling, guys. I really do. Yep. So Oregon called it the Jack Hammer package. Yep. Yeah. Oregon's we got a couple good players from Oregon now. We had Buckner, Armstead, and if we can get this guy, that would be really awesome. Damien is ready to move on from Juice. And yes, he agrees. Coletto's the real deal. So what could we get for Juice, guys? I don't want to trade him away just yet. He's supposed to be on our team, I think, until 2026. But if we can let him go, maybe go and win the Super Bowl this year, and we trade Juice. I could do that because I like to see this core win a Super Bowl. I really do. All right, so happy Sunday, everyone. Move to Juice to tight end. Let Clayton do all the grunt work and use Juice on third. Oh, I like it. Yeah. See, this is where we're getting at when we can take players and we can move them around. And now you don't know who's what or what's what, right? Bring Debo in the backfield and let him be running back just for a decoy play once in a while, right? Because people are already going to think he's going to be the running back, and you have somebody like Coletto on the field, and then you put Juice out there as another tight end, Kittle over to the side as a wide receiver. Now we're starting to cook. Okay. Good morning. Tony's in the chat. She's up and about, taking care of the house and doing all that good stuff. And if you guys didn't get a chance to go check her show out last night, she had a special guest on. I don't recall who it was, but I know it was fire. No, I know who it was. It's this guy right here. So again, thank you for coming, and definitely appreciate that. Thank you, Ted. Check this out. This is why Ted is a great guy. One, he's got a great channel, but he brings facts and stuff, and he drops them in the chat too. Lenore's from Oregon too. So to keep that in mind. Oregon is starting to feed these 49ers players. All right. We're going to trade Juice? No. Not yet. But if Damien could trade Juice, it looks like he would like to trade him to Miami. Now, that's not a bad idea. Miami is like mini 49ers. It's like the Miami 49ers down there. It's no longer the Dolphins. And it seems like that was what was happening with the Jets there for a little while, too. It was like the New York 49ers. Seems like sometimes when these teams take on too many players from one, now it's the Texans. Texans are like the Houston 49ers. They got our coaches and they got some of our players down there. When you take on players from different teams, you take on that team's mentality, that team's atmosphere, and their culture, and you start molding it into yours. And that's why a lot of times when these teams do rebuilds, they want to bring in teams with veterans and they want to start fresh. You can't always get really, really, really talented veterans because that costs a lot of money. And usually these teams that are rebuilding are playing with monopoly money at that point. They are scrubbing all their pennies together and counting all of it. And at the end, it's just one of those things you want to start out the right way. So sometimes it just takes a little bit of time. And I think that's why when we hired Kyle Shanahan in 2017, I think that's why we started building the defense. We started building defense, and we started building as much as we could in the offense. And there's so many pieces that you can move around, and you can get good gems for value picks, right? Or for buckets. But because the 49ers had so many issues in 2017 following the 2016, following let's just break it down, the Harbaugh era, the Jim Tom Sula era, the Chip Kelly era, going back, to Jim Sula, it's just, oh boy, we don't want to do that again. So for people saying fire Kyle, okay, let's fire Kyle. Now, who are we replacing him with? And I think whoever is being replaced for Kyle, they're coming into a better situation. This is kind of like what happened to like Mike Nolan and what happened to, I'm thinking of his name. I'm thinking of his name. Our linebacker coach that turned into, I want winners. Come on, chat, help me out. Who was our coach? I'm trying to think of him. Sinclair. It's not Sinclair. It was Singletary. Mike Singletary. He played for the Bears. Then he was a linebacker for the Bears for a long time, and then we got him. We got him as a linebackers coach. I believe he turned into a defensive coach, and then he took over. He took over after we let Mike Nolan go. But we hired Jim Tom Sula for the one game. He was our interim coach, and then Mike Singletary. He turned over. He was cool. He was cool for our team. He brought a lot of culture and a lot of grit and heart and faith, and he wanted the team to fight hard. But there was something happened. He lost the locker room, and we had to move on. When we brought in Harbaugh, it's same thing. We had a really good foundation. We had a good foundation because we went through that ugly rebuild, the dark days, and we had Singletary. He was right there. He was turning the team. And here comes Harbaugh, and he fires off a bunch of games real quick, and everybody's like, "We're winning. Everybody's happy because that's all you really want. You want to win, and we are winning really dominantly, big numbers, and it was just we were shutting teams down. The defense was really stacked, and we were getting production out of that quarterback that we had through the dark days, and I think that's what a lot of people were really like. Gelled together. They came together and they're like, this is something that's really awesome. We are finally winning. We're seeing the fruits of our labor. Like you go outside, you water your grass, it's all brown, it's yellow. It doesn't just turn green the next night. Sometimes it takes a long time to get something to grow, and that's what happened with the Niners. And then right after that, we let Harbaugh go. We started letting players go. Things just got really, really crazy real quick. And then we tried to bounce back because we held on to a few players. We did hold on to our quarterback, but we brought in maybe the wrong coach. We thought it was the right coach with Chip Kelly, but his and he came from Oregon. Hey, maybe Oregon's the theme of today's show, the Ducks. So if you look at Chip Kelly, he had a team in Oregon. In Oregon, they're allowed to have 100 or 130 players or 125 players on a college team. It's really crazy, where we're only allowed to have 53 in football. In the NFL, they are allowed to have a lot of players. Now, not all the 100 players play in the game, every Sunday, but they have a lot of players that they can move around on the team. So you have options. The Niners, when we are playing and we only have so many guys on the field and you're just running, and it's just, and that's what Chip Kelly wanted. He wanted the offense to go really fast, score really fast, and there was never a slowdown. It was once you scored fast and the defense come out on the field, then when you came back out, you scored fast again. It almost appeared like the defense would be out there on the field all the time, and that's what happened. The defense was on the field for a very long time, and we were getting gashed. The other teams were learning how to just run the clock on us. And you can't, when you have a tired defense and then your offense goes out there and goes 3 and out, and then goes 3 and out, 3 and out. What are you doing? You're gonna get blown out real quick, and that's exactly what happened. So he's no longer with the 49ers. They let him go very quickly. We brought in Jim Tausula, the guy that we had for the one intern game, and it was really awesome. A lot of people liked him because he was a member of the organization. He was a friend of the team, right? The guy, not everybody always has the best time in life, right? Sometimes we have struggles and things that we have to work out. Well, there was a point in his life before he became a 49ers coach, he was sleeping in his car, and Jimmy T. And he he did exactly what he needed to do. He kept fighting, he kept striving, he kept living, and he got on his feet. And that's determination for anybody. And if you don't want a job, you don't have to have a job. But if you want a job, there's enough jobs in America that you can find one. It might not be the one you want, it might be the one you can get. And maybe get it for as long as you can take it, and then when you see something new come and you grab it, because that's what America's like. There's always opportunities to have if you look for them. So Jimmy T took over the team, and maybe he wasn't the guy that we needed at the moment, but he was the guy that we had. And that experiment, it wasn't really an experiment. The Niners kind of knew what they were doing. They were tanking. They tanked, and we didn't like that. We didn't like it at all. The fans didn't like it. We started flying planes over the stadium. It just got to a point where we'd had enough. We're going to have our voices heard. They stopped going to the games. They didn't completely stop going to the games. Fans will always go to the games, but a lot of fans did voice their opinions. They did it on social media. They did it here. They did it everywhere. And it got to a point. So really quickly, I do have David. I'm going to bring David in. David's a real cool guy. You guys might have seen him once or twice.
Maybe once.
Maybe once. But really quickly, when you look at the team, we went from having Jimmy Tomsula, and then when we've brought in, now we have Kyle Shanahan, and people want to scream, fire Kyle Shanahan. I want somebody to tell me, who can come in right now and work better than Kyle Shanahan has worked since 2017 till now. We all have faults. Maybe his fault is he hasn't gotten a quarterback. But we've all had opportunity to see this team succeed, and we've seen this team fall because of injuries. But when this team's healthy, this team goes to the Super Bowl. So again, it's like right now, fire Kyle, bring in a different coach. Hopefully we strike gold, just like what we did with Harbaugh, and he can take the team that's already built and take us to a Super Bowl. So if that's what everybody wants to happen, a situation sort of like what Andy Reid takes the Eagles to 4 or 5 NFC championships, to a Super Bowl, loses it, has multiple different quarterbacks. The team has to move off of Andy because they just can't get it done. What happens? Andy goes somewhere else and wins it. I'm not afraid to say Kyle's going to go somewhere else and win it. I'd like to see him win it with us. Maybe he does need to change his scene, but right now I can't think of anybody that we can bring in right now that is going to be better than Kyle. And go ahead, David. I'm going to bring Corey in if you'd like to give me your thoughts on that.
Well, it's not necessarily it has to be better than Kyle. It has to be, has to know how to win the big game. I mean, at this point, that's the knock on Kyle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the whole QB's staying upright thing, if he is such an offensive genius, he should have noticed. And Steve-O corrected me yesterday. I've been saying he's been here 7 years. He's only actually coached 6. But still only one season with a healthy quarterback. So if he is this offensive genius everyone claims him to be, why can't he scheme things and get guys open a little sooner and keep his quarterback from getting hit?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, I don't know. And I noticed another weird thing. Well, this is like totally weird. So, Richard Purdy, Sam Richard Darnold, it's like Brandon Duck Allen. He doesn't fit the mold. He doesn't have Richard as his middle name. We're going to have to cut him.
Oh, boy. Good morning, Corey. Thank you for coming.
Good morning. Good morning, David.
Good morning. But yeah, I was looking at that like, what's up with that? It's like, it's just kind of strange.
That is very strange. A coincidence and a weird coincidence. We just can't get rid of that Richard. And if you know what Richard's short for,
yeah.
So don't be a Richard, okay? But
that's probably why we got rid of Trey Lance.
Oh,
name's
man.
not Richard.
It's sad. It really is sad. I don't know. I don't know what happened, guys. I really don't. I know everybody was chanting, give Trey a chance and trade Trey, or trade Lance." You know, they were making jingles, and I know we've had some content creators that was really pushing. If you're not going to let him start, or let him go somewhere else, I don't know, guys, but I do think it's a little weird that he left our third quarterback chair, right? He could have been second. He could have been first this year. Look how fast we went to our third string quarterback last year. So with that thought, right, he got so irritated or decided it was it's so bad in Santa Clara that he needs to go to the Dallas Cowboys and be their fourth string quarterback. Fourth.
Yep.
They got three quarterbacks already. So now he's got to go and battle the four string quarterback out, or they're going to make the four stringer the third stringer their practice squad guy, and he's going to be their emergency backup quarterback. I know he's smart, and I know he can beat out Cooper Rush, but Cooper Rush is pretty good too. And this is all anticipating on is Dak going to sign his contract next year and stay on the team. I don't know anywhere else that Dak would go. Maybe the Saints. Maybe Dak could go to the Saints, but I don't know anywhere else Dak could go that he would play just as well as he's playing now. It's that defense. It's that Cowboy offensive line. Anybody behind that O line can play pretty good, I would think. Cowboys, they do what we don't do. They build an offensive line. We don't build an offensive line. We go we go bargain bin shopping, and then we go, ooh, let's go get the silverback. Let's get Trent Williams, and that's our offensive line. One guy. So I guess I don't know, guys. It's if he really wanted out, then that's exactly what they did. They got him out, and it's upsetting. Did you guys see the kicker miss the field goal yesterday during the game though?
What game?
The Cowboys and Raiders. The Raiders went to Dallas last night.
Oh yeah.
And their kicker missed, the Cowboys kicker. So I hope if we need Robbie, man, we call him quicker than later, because he's going to be a hot commodity if their Cowboy kicker keeps missing. They'll be the new Niners down there.
I want to ask you a question about the coach. What you just talking about the coach? Kyle Shanahan. No, I wouldn't fire him right now. Not now. I'll put him on the hot seat. I'll let him know. We don't go to the Super Bowl and win it. You say this is your last season. I'm giving you this season. Do it. Because I wouldn't know. I wouldn't fire him right now, because then we had to bring in somebody, and this person going to probably come in and try to change the offense around. And then now our quarterback got to learn a new offense. No, I wouldn't do nothing like that. That's too much. I'll wait. I just put him on a hot seat right now. I said, Cal, you're on a hot seat right now. Your job depends on how you do this season. If we don't go to the Super Bowl and we don't win it, and I figured it was your fault, I'm not going to extend you no contract for 2024 if you cannot produce a Super Bowl.
Corey, I love the point. Jed needs to grow a set. That's pretty much what you're saying. And sorry about the camera moving around, and my stuff thing almost fell over. But so at this point, it seems like Jed York is okay with making the NFC Championship game. It's like, I know you were young, Jed, but there are 5 Super Bowls in 20 years. 5. And that is a tough thing to do. Salary cap, no salary cap, doesn't matter. It's a tough thing to do. And right now, you've been over the team for a long time. Mom has literally owned the team for over 20 years, and you got nothing. So maybe it's time to call Eddie D, your uncle, and be like, what do you think we should do? Eddie D would be like, light a fire under Kyle. That's what Eddie D'd say, light a fire. He's not the only head coach candidate out there. You have a great football team. I'm sure you coaches that are candidates to be head coaches would be lining up to take this team over. And honestly, I look at a guy like Ken Dorsey. A lot of people say Bieniemy, but let's see what he does in Washington with a quarterback no one knows anything about.
Yeah.
Steve Wilkes. Poor guy hasn't had the chance to be the head coach of a good team. But when it comes down to it, Kyle, you're getting, close, but there's no cigar, buddy. We need that cigar. Okay. We need that. We need that Cuban. I need to light that bad boy up. Okay.
What do you think the likelihood, and this is just me speculating, but we know Kyle knows CMC from being, kid. Kyle was like 14 or something. CMC was younger. We know Kyle's dad, Mike Shanahan and Ed McCaffrey, the dads were friends. They left San Francisco and moved to Denver together. So what do you think the chances is that Kyle knew Jed York when he was younger? Do you think they were friends when they were seeing each other in the stadium at Candlestick, or do you think that ever happened? Because that's the only thing I'm thinking of is Kyle seems to be Jed's buddy, and he doesn't want to get rid of his buddy. And there's been multiple times where it's like, hey man, why is this guy walking into your office? And I get the feeling he kicks his feet up on his desk and is like, hey, what's up, Jed? I don't see the same, respect or the same, I think that's why they let Harbaugh go. I think Harbaugh was a man, and came in and he was like, you're a kid, Jed. You're younger than me. You're going to listen to me. You might own the team, but you're paying me to run this team. We're going to win a Super Bowl my way. Jed got offended somehow. He said, hey, no, you're not listening to me. You're out. And I don't think he's got the nerve to say it to Kyle. Do you think that somewhere like in the lines that I'm saying, he's afraid to lose his friend, or what's the deal?
That was the same thing that said about Trim Bleak and the guy you just mentioned, our owner. I can't.
Jed York.
Jed York. They were friends. They were buddies, and so that's why it took them a while to want to fire him. And they said, let him go because they was friends. That's why Harbaugh got the short end of the stick, because Leak and they were friends. That's what they say. Nah, it can be not true. That's what I just heard.
I think there's something weird. You either put some fire under this guy and tell him, you're gonna win, or it's over, and winning championships and hoisting NFC championship banners is not what we want to do. We want to hoist Super Bowls. We don't want to just make it to the championship game. It seems like they have, they're complacent. Just get into the playoffs, get into the championship game, and that's not where we're at. And I think, David, you're right. They should have some kind of meeting with Eddie and say, what do we need to do? I think if we tell him at the beginning of the season that you're fired or it's over for you, I don't think that's going to work out for him. And I don't know if you guys seen it or not. I talked to you guys recently about it. There was the blown call that they should have challenged in the Bronco game. And I think I seen one again in the Charger game where they could have thrown the challenge flag out there and they chose not to. I got to watch it. I got to rewatch the highlights on that one. And what did we not do in the championship game? Are we saving these challenges for the end of the season or something like that? And we're going to give them away for presents or something like that? Like, if you don't use your challenges, then like the timeouts and stuff like that, do we really care to take a timeout in preseason when the game doesn't count? So if there's a call and it's questionable, that's when we should be like, hey, let's get the refs out there. Let's throw the red flag. Let's see if what they said. You guys messed up. You guys need to keep better eyes out there. That's when you crack the whip. They were calling every other play, every call they could. Who was the right, the left? Who was the left guard who kept holding? Every time there was a run play, he was holding, and you could see him. He was like being jerked with the guy, and then he'd throw his hands up in the air. And they kept calling that. They were really, really throwing flags. So when the refs are throwing flags like that and they miss a call, or we just have an opportunity to take it, hey, it's a break for us. You guys go review the call, come back, tell us if we're wrong or not. Twice now.
Well, dude, that play you're talking about in the NFC Championship game would have changed the whole dynamic of the game. Yep. Because it takes 7 points off the board because they scored a touchdown.
Right after.
And that was a 4th down play.
Yep.
So we would have got the ball right there.
40. At like the 40.
Yeah. And, then that drive that Brock Purdy was injured on may not have happened. So that does, one call like that changes the whole dynamic of the game. And Kyle does need to get better about realizing I need to throw the challenge flag. It's like F those timeouts, dude.
Yeah.
You said F those picks and you traded the quarterback to Dallas. So F those timeouts. Okay.
Yeah. We should be able to score. And we should be able to pick up first downs, even if we take a knee on first down. If we blow first down, we should still be able to get, a first down, second or third down. We should be able to pick up the yards. 10 yards is not that. When some teams can just pick them up left and right, we have all these playmakers, all this ability. We have the head coach who's got the mastermind. He's supposed to be the offensive guru. You're telling me we can't get 10 yards? So F that timeout. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we need to throw the challenge flag, do it. What do you think, Corey?
Oh, yes. Like I said, Cal did drop the ball on that play, because he should be paying attention to, he's the head coach. He should be paying attention to the offense and defense. He should be looking, out there watching. Because if he's the only one who can throw the flag, he's need to be one out there looking. Saying, hey, why is the Eagles trying to run up and get that play? Why my number 29, Fonga, said it was no catch? But if I was a Fonga, I'll be going to all my players like, no catch, come on, scream it, no catch, no catch. Challenge coach. And I blame that not just on Kyle too, is all the coaches. Somebody should have been recognizing what was going on. Referees should have been recognizing what's going on. Everybody should have recognized it. But they all let it slip, so it's not all Kyle's fault. It's everybody's fault.
Yeah, and that's where he bounces back, and he always can lean on it and say, "Oh, it's not my fault. It's all of our faults." Or somebody will pipe up and say, "It's a team. It's a team." Yeah, but we have a leader, And we do need a leader to step up and say, we're not going to lose this. And I am going to do everything in my ability to do it.
Yep.
And I'm not going to have somebody say, oh, well, again, when you're staring there and you're standing there and you're looking at your play sheet, when the guy is on the field and your offense is not on the field and you're not watching the defense, oh, it's not your job to watch the defense? Oh, you got people to watch the defense for you? Oh, okay. Did you see him drop the ball? Did they see it? But you're looking at your play sheet, right? Okay.
Yep. He should have been. And maybe our defense coach would have saw it too if he's like where Wilkins is at in the booth up on top. And like, what's going on here? Why is the team rushing up there? Why? Why is the Eagles rushing? Let's stop this. Cal, call timeout or throw the red flag. Something wrong. Throw the red flag.
This is the time. This is the time to do it, because if you fail, it doesn't matter. You obviously don't care if you win the game or not. So throw the flag, throw the red flag, use the timeout. At the end of the game, they didn't care that they lost this game. They really didn't. So, all right, this is what Pterodome says. He says, I've actually been a proponent of always going no huddle, rapid snap after a big play in the red zone. That's exactly what the Eagles did to us. It catches the defense flat-footed. They can't shuffle in personnel, and you can get a easy offsides. And that's very well said. It's very well said. And then what Big City Man said. Big City Man, shout out to you. Thank you for coming. I've seen you around and I appreciate you. You're a good friend too. 7 first-round picks. If this era of the 49ers football does not push over the top of the mountain, that will be the main reason. Therefore, if they don't win the next 2 seasons, it's off with their heads. I can see this point because we do have Kyle till 2025. So that gives them 2 more seasons. You don't get it done, goodbye. Bye, Felicia. Telling you, we're not gonna keep playing around. I'm not saying fire him today. I'm not saying fire him. I'm saying let's go and win it. You got your quarterback, you got your weapon, CMC, your childhood bromance or whatever you want to say it. You got a new kicker. You got what you want. You got everything you want. What else do you want? That's what I would ask Kyle. If I could meet Kyle, I'd ask him first, nice to meet you. Talk to him just a little bit about, some regular stuff. But then I would ask him, what do you think you need for your 49ers team to get it done? And, he'd probably give me some kind of generic answer like, we just need to stay healthy or something. But if that's the truth, then what do we need to do, guys, to keep these guys healthy? I mean, we can't go in there and rub them up for, we're not trying to have like no massage parlor, Deshaun Watson thing going on. If they need massages, they need to figure that out on their own, but that's not for us as fans. We can't help them there. And I don't think Kyle can.
Men do massages too.
No, but I'm not, as a fan, going to go rub down, the Silverback or Fred Warner. I'm not giving Jake Moody no rub down. I'm telling you, they can go figure that out. But as far as being healthy and staying, where they're not getting injured, what can they do to prepare more ice baths? Do we need to go get more, ice bucket baths and stuff like that for them? How do we get the facility better for them where they're not getting injured? Do we do we get rid of finally the hockey staff?
Yep.
Honestly, we've had injury problems since moving to Santa Clara. So is it the field? Is it the training facility that we currently have? It could be a combination of all of it and our trainers. And I honestly also have to throw in there, that brand of football we play. that incredibly physical, beat the team up. Remember last year, every team that played us lost. Well, I think one team might have won a game after playing us, but we had a streak where most of the teams we played lost after playing us because they were so beat up, including the Eagles, including them. But and it's our brand of football. We're incredibly physical, and with that does come the higher injury risk. But like I said, it's been going on since before Kyle. So I think there's something else to it. I think we need to step up the training facilities. Jed York, get into your pockets, buddy. You're an NFL franchise. You have money. Don't be afraid to spend it. And then we have, the whole hockey training staff. I mean, why would you do that? Hire a head trainer that's known for making players work. Like I don't remember that guy that was with the Cowboys back in the 90s when after Michael Irvin tore his ACL, and he's pretty much admitted after the fact that he was playing on one leg. But their trainer made it work. And that guy actually went on to be with the Patriots. I don't know if he's still up there or not, but he might be. But we need to get a guy like that or gal. I don't care. As long as they know what they're doing, I do not care. Who you are, just know what you're doing.
Well, thank you, Melvin, for coming. It says the clock is ticking. Kyle Shanahan, you have 2 years to win the Niners a Super Bowl, or you're gonzo. Everybody, if you haven't heard me say it, it's going to be the second time. Goodbye, Felicia. Hey, thank you for coming. Please like and subscribe. And we do this every Saturday and Sunday, so hope you come back. And we have another.
I don't know if I'd even give him 2 years. I mean, it's like, well, that I'm hardcore, so don't mind me, folks. I would actually think about it and make a calm, cool-headed, level-headed decision. I don't make decisions based on emotion because that's just the wrong thing to do.
Well, Javier, thank you as well for coming. We haven't won a Super Bowl, the 6th Super Bowl yet, but we're getting close. We are getting close. We are on the pinnacle. We are at the cusp. We are pushing forward. Pterodome says same issue every year. Running quarterbacks gaseous. Injuries, offensive line, right side is lacking. Oh my gosh. That's our problem. It's our problem.
I got one more thing to say about the other thing we were just talking about too. In the waste of timeout, we get 6 timeouts. There's 3 in the first quarter, 3 in the next second half. So,
hey, I'm not a big fan
really
of.
No timeout.
I'm with you, Corey.
Do we get 6 or do we get 2 and 2? Do we get 4?
Isn't it 3 per half?
Oh, we got to Google it, right?
It's 3 per half, I believe. A 30-second and 2 full. And then we got but like I said, you go to the halftime. Most of the time, you have at least one timeout, if not most of them left. So it's like I said, F those timeouts. Throw that flag, Kyle. Don't be afraid.
Yeah, throw the flag. Six. Corey, you're right. David, you're right. Yeah, I knew we had the challenges. I knew we had 3 challenges. You get 2.
Yeah, you only get 3 challenges.
But you get 2, and then you get the 1 extra, the third one, if you win your first 2. And I think that's silly. Yeah.
And what I say, thinking about what y'all talk about I think is John Jay might like this. Somebody in San Francisco, after we left to go Santa Clara, put a voodoo on us. Said, your player's gonna get injured. I'm just playing.
There was that rumor, and I don't know if it's true or not. Yeah, there was a rumor, and I don't know how true this is, but they say we built our stadium on an Indian burial ground. That's not good. That's not good at all. So if that's really, really true, we need to get some people to go around that stadium with some sage, and we need to do everything we can do to make it right, because that's I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't like it. I know they they haven't had a good run since they've been there, and I know winning helps, but it's not San Francisco, and they still haven't built anything where San Francisco's at. So I don't know. I'd like to see them go back to San Francisco one day, but can't just tear down the stadium right away. Things are going to change
Oh,
too.
you leave it up for concerts and whatever Santa Clara wants to do. Just
Yeah. The stadium next door, the theme park, Great America, is being torn down soon. They have, I want to say, less than 7 years that they'll still be open, and that's going to open up some stuff over there. They're going to build some, some places to go eat and some stuff like that. So there'll be more atmosphere and stuff like that. But I like Santa Clara. I've been there a couple times now, and I think it's a nice stadium, but it's not the fanciest one. And it's kind of one of those things. It's like, we build a stadium today, well, when you build one next year, it's going to be better than this one, and then the following year is going to be better and better. And it's one of those things. We can't have a dome, and we weren't going to really build a dome. We are the 49ers. We're right here by the coast, and everybody gets to see that beautiful sky and stuff. So it's not like we are really looking to build a dome. We've never really been a dome team. So now with us being so close to the airport, there's really no place for them to build the shade or the canopy, and I think they could do something. I think they could do something different. You guys have seen how the Dolphin Stadium has the square above it, just kind of shade partially. I think they could do something like that with Santa Clara, but I don't know. No one's really happy with them being there, so everything you say, they're going to just always say, oh, well, it's not Candlestick. No, it's not, but it can be just as nice. It's about how you treat it, right? John says he misses Candlestick Park. Tony says Levi was not built on a Indian burial ground. I hope not. I've heard that several times. And if anybody's seen Jim Everett, please let the authorities know there's a missing Jim Everett.
Oh, they got goose egged yesterday, buddy. They got shut out by the Denver Broncos, that team we beat last week.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, they got 41-0. Woo! I see that this guy just talking about Rudy did a show. He was not too happy.
They'll still take the attitude. Oh, it's just preseason.
Yeah.
Man, you have 3 guys, and who else? You're not winning many games with just 3 good players and everyone else. That's just not going to happen.
And I can't think of his guy name. He's the Rams. Who was his name? I was watching him. Jake something. He said, "Boy, he said he's not feeling good about his the backup quarterbacks." He said Stafford. He says it's terrible.
Beyond Stafford, they have nothing. I mean, these guys were talking, oh, Stinson Bennett's better than all 3 of your guys. He threw 2 interceptions in 6 attempts yesterday, guys.
Yep.
So, no, he's not looking good. Maybe he'll turn into something. You never know, right? But at this point in time, no. Brandon Allen would beat him out. or I should say Brandon Duck Allen. I got to start calling out everyone's written middle names now.
Well, Teradome said he didn't look very good. He said Stetson Bennett didn't look good. He said he looked horrible. And then Crazy Juice confirmed it. He said we're missing Jim Everett. So if you guys see Jim Everett, and good morning, Crazy Juice, thank you for coming. Please let him know. You know, remind him about that score.
Well, if anyone sees Jim Everett, tell him R.I.P. your franchise.
I know he was in. I know he was in. What's their chat? Wayne's Breezy chat. Wayne Breezy and who he was with. 49 First Take.
Yeah, he's with Aaron.
You remember?
But yeah, still. So Corey, you weren't on here for my spill. So Brock and Sam middle name, our QBs is Richard.
Yeah, I was here.
Yeah. Oh, Richard. You were listening? Okay. What are your thoughts on that? Do we need to cut Brandon Duck Allen because his middle name ain't Richard?
Oh yeah. Remember, I made a joke. I said, "Is that the reason why we got rid of Trey Lance because his name's not Richard?" Yeah. I'm like I said, if we don't. Boy, did y'all see Night of Sickness and media the Sean show? I guess the name is and I can't remember what the
I saw this show last night that they were going at it hard. I started making jokes in the chat to try to lighten the mood up. For heaven's sake, guys! I was going to tell them send me the link. Yeah, and mediate. Like
they would go there. I was like, and then Dion came in there. I was like, it's gonna be more.
Well, Christian, I don't mind Christian. Everyone's entitled to their opinions, but when it comes to QBs, dude, you wanted Baker Mayfield, okay? You wanted Baker Mayfield. It's like he's gonna take us to the promised land. I highly doubt that was the case, and it's just like I can't. Yeah, I can't listen to that to his opinion on QBs from that. I just can't. But yeah, number one
morning,
challenge:
Hello.
keeping our QB upright all season. That is the top challenge for Kyle right there. Got to pull it off, buddy.
Hey, Jason, how are you, man?
I'm a little hungover from yesterday. I think I'm sunburned all over, but it was a damn good time.
That sounds like it could be worth it. Definitely.
Completely worth it. It was a good time. Barbecuing with a bunch of friends and everything. We went to about 10 o'clock last night. Started at about 11. So, yeah, good times.
Oh, man. So, did you get to hear David's findings? He found out something really, really interesting involving the quarterbacks' names.
Oh, I've heard something. That was you guys were talking about BA. I'm not sure if I heard about the quarterbacks one.
So, we have Brock Richard Purdy, Samuel Richard Darnold, and Brandon Duck Allen. And I'm sure James Richard Garoppolo. Yeah. So it's like, what's up with that? And honestly,
very weird.
I did a little bit of research. I didn't take too much time on it, folks. But there is no decent free agent QB with the middle name of Richard. So if we cut Brandon Allen, who are we signing?
Rich Gannon.
Damian, man, no. I guess
maybe there's someone we could trade for with the middle name of Richard.
The middle name Richard.
David, how close does Damian live to Dallas's stadium?
He is in the same city. It is 10 minutes away from his house.
Oh, nice.
So Damian, he says Jerry Jones has welcome to Dallas on the scoreboard. Wow.
Yeah, he's welcoming to Trey Lance to Dallas. And I still think this is going to bite us hard because, it's kind of like, so Kyle, I've been saying the narrative, Kyle can't develop a, QB. A couple people have argued, oh, look at Kirk Cousins and Matt Ryan. Hold on. Kirk Cousins started being good when Kyle left, like the season after he left. Matt Ryan was already established. So name me a QB Kyle Shanahan has developed. When it comes to Brock Purdy, he had tons of game experience. He came in, he learned the offense. I don't know what, maybe Brian Greasy is a decent quarterbacks coach, but who can develop a quarterback at this point? That's what Trey Lance needs. He needs, playing time. He needs a guy that can actually help him work on his craft so he can be that guy. And, I don't know if Dallas has a coach or not, but Jerry Jones, I actually watched a video. He said, we saw everything Trey Lance did. We liked what we saw. We liked our original scouting, report from when he got drafted. So yeah, we were not going to let them off the phone without a deal being done to bring him here. And it was like, oh boy.
That's the question: is why? I don't understand if it's if Trey asked for the trade, why he didn't say no? I don't want to go there because the Cowboys already got 4 quarterbacks. They already got 3 quarterbacks. I need to go place. I want to go to a place where I can at least get a chance to start. I ain't gonna see no chances playing the games on the Cowboys now.
That's
I just
true.
wonder how much they're really invested in Dak long term. That's what I keep coming back to.
There's been reports that Dak's not happy about his contract.
Yeah.
About the money he's making, and he wants a raise.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of been here and there about it. But Jerry Jones is, looking at the future because Dak's not getting any younger. He is an aging quarterback. And every year it seems like he regresses a little bit. Like last year, 12 games, 15 picks, right? So, at this point, Jerry Jones is planning for the future. And he said, I'm going to take this, quarterback that needs work but has an incredibly high upside for a bag of chips that got ran over by a garbage truck. That's essentially what he got Trey Lance for.
So Trey Lance decided to leave the Niners, and I was briefly saying it too, to go be a 4-string quarterback on another team. He doesn't know the playbook too. So what really happened, guys? Did the relationship just totally melt? I don't know if you guys watch Grant Cohn, and I like Grant Cohn, but he was talking about this was probably facilitated back when we traded for, not traded, but when we signed Sam Darnold. He was probably told back then that this is Sam's team, and you have an opportunity to win it out. According to Grant, he thinks this is what happened, and then you get him to preseason, and according to Kyle, he already knew who the backup quarterback was going to be by the Raiders game, and he didn't feel like it was fair to keep, playing this with Trey and not being upfront with him. So after the Bronco game comes Wednesday, we decided to break the news to him. It sounds like something happened in that room that they don't want to talk about. There was some words definitely disclosed and exchanged, because it sounds like they care about the guy. But why would Trey want to leave a 3rd seat to go be a 4th seat on a totally different team where we seen again last year how many quarterbacks we needed? So you tell me truly deep in your heart that you don't think that Brandon Allen is going to be starting sometime in this season? Last year we needed 4 quarterbacks. If Trey comes out, at any time for the Cowboys this year, that's because Dallas is really, really hurt. The Niners, I don't know. I definitely see us using multiple quarterbacks many seasons from now, many seasons of the past. Again, Trey, you decided to leave an opportunity to play. to go play in Dallas because whatever was said, the bridge was burnt or something. That's the only reason I could. He's done with San Francisco. He wanted out.
Well, he's been gone since the signing of Sam Darnold. I'm sorry, I don't believe that there was ever a competition for quarterback. It is Kyle has had his mind made up. Since we signed Sam Darnold, what, an hour into free agency of the tampering part? Come on. He had to have some sort of conversation with Kyle. He's like, look, I'm only going to sign this if I'm going to have, either be the starter until Brock comes back or I'm going to be the number 2. Why else would Sam Darnold have signed that contract? So any form of competition has been a lie from Kyle from the jump when it comes to that. So Trey kind of had inclination that he's not telling me the truth. And if everything has been proven, by watching the play from what I've seen in camp, when other people have reported, Darnold has not been better than him. So he never got a fair shot. I'd want out too. So, he probably feels like he's been lied to the entire, since February, March, whenever the tampering session starts. He's been lied to the entire time. I'd want out too. He would have lost my trust. And then Kyle, from what I've seen, and most people said, he's outplayed Darnold. Darnold has looked mediocre at best. And he's like, oh, nope, you're the third. I'm out. Bye. You lied to me the whole time.
I think what happened was Kyle has it in his head that, if Brock is healthy when he comes back, that's my QB going forward. Look at what he did last year. That's my guy. And, Trey Lance, then they signed Sam Darnold, and you're probably right. They probably said, all right, Sam, you're going to be, starting for Brock or, the number 2 guy. And Trey Lance was told, yeah, Brock Purdy's our starting quarterback going forward. And, the fact that he's never going to get an opportunity, sunk into him. And he probably said, look, trade me. Like, I'm never going to get an opportunity here. I need to trade me somewhere that's actually going to give me an opportunity down the road.
Yeah.
So, guys, when is Bosa coming now?
I think my panic is now at about a 7.5.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's going to go up every day until game day. That's why I'm sitting with that. Like, I'm just like, look, okay, I really thought he was signed before the Chargers game. I know him or his brother was not going to be playing in that game, but just for, hey, look, it's me and my brother. It would have been nice to see. I'm surprised at the very least the two of them didn't do something together for that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bebop says hopefully before Labor Day, and Damien says hopefully by Thursday. I like both of them because I believe the cut day is the 29th, and it's coming. It's coming really soon. So Thursday would be the 31st. We don't have a game. When's our first game? Our first game's the 10th.
I thought it was the 11th.
Is it the 11th? That's a Monday night. Yeah. Did we play Monday night first? I think. I had the schedule written down. Let me pull up the schedule up. I got the schedule here. But yeah.
I think it's Sunday night, isn't it? Or not Sunday night, but like Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, Sunday.
I had that really cool magnet TJ give me the other day.
I guess it is the 10th. I thought it was the 11th.
It's the 10th.
Okay, so
I really thought it was the 11th.
It's the 10th. Yes, and it's a morning game. It's like 10 a.m. game. Yeah. So I'd like to see him come back before then. That'd be a lot of fun, and then we don't have to worry about it. But he's still signed for a whole another year, so we're not just losing him, right? He's gonna sit out the whole year, or he's gonna come and then we won't give him a contract. I think what we were talking. I think all of us were talking the other day. It's what he's got till week 4 to sign his contract.
Well, I think he can go to week 8 because I think he's on this. I'm not sure if he's on the same as Chris Jones, to where you can go to week 8 before you lose your status. But I'm not sure if that's with how many years in the league. 'Cause I know it's different the more time you put in.
Yeah, so I'm thinking he's coming. He's coming soon, and he doesn't really have anything to hold out. Well, I mean, yeah, you want to get paid, but him not being here is not going to be beneficial for him in the long run. It's not. It's get him here. Let's see what we can do. So, guys, I am excited about week 1. I think we're going to be playing this Pittsburgh Steelers, and I just want us to have a solid game. I'd like us to stop their rush. I don't think we're going to have a problem with their quarterback. I'm looking forward to our players getting out there. I think Brock Purdy is going to be pretty well. I think he looked pretty smooth in the game, both games he's played. I'm a little worried about our kicker right now because I don't know who our kicker is, but they'll figure that out. I don't think it's going to be not that significant of an injury. It's not like they pulled a hamstring or they pulled their groin, because groin injuries do linger. That's not fun when you're a kicker. But he had a quad. I feel bad, guys. Got to be honest. I think I was talking to somebody and we were trying to figure out how many kicks they can kick until they get leg fatigue. And I don't want to say I jinxed them, but now we know leg fatigue is real. So yeah, I'm thinking it's going to happen. So before we get
maybe we could call the 49ers and have them call you and have you come in and kick for us.
Jeez.
Just grab your jersey and go, man.
Just grab it and go.
Yeah, see, that jersey right there. Grab it.
Dude, you already have a jersey, a number, everything. You just show up, they'll be like, when will we sign this guy?
Oh, man.
But,
where's your helmet? Put it on and go, man.
I do have a helmet. It's one of those plastic helmets. I shouldn't put it on right now. I'll have to take my glasses off. But yeah, I'd like to get one of the bigger helmets. I got one of the. I'll grab the helmet. Might as well grab it.
You can wear my paper helmet that's behind me.
I got my little kid helmet. So that's fun. But guys, it's been a lot of fun. Let's go around real quick. Your thoughts on the game coming up, and what you expect out of week 1. Then we'll get out of here.
I'm looking forward to it. With the Steelers, my older brother, and then all his kids and everything, they're all Steeler fans, so we're gonna get together, and a lot of family trash talk and all that stuff. But it's on one aspect, it's kind of a scary game because we do tend to start slow under Kyle, and Tomlinson is knowing to getting the Steelers ready really good for week 1. So yeah, it should be. I still think we should be able to get it out. It all depends on how McKivitz is going to go hold up against Watt and then Hayward on the inside, but I still think we pull it out.
What do you think, Corey? How do you think we match up against Steelers, Pittsburgh?
We should match up good with them, but yeah, without Bosa, that's gonna be kind of scary. If we don't have Bosa, that's what makes me a little bit worried that we don't have Bosa. But we still should be able to match up. Just stop that run. That's all we gotta do. Just stop that run. That's what their running back is good for, running up the middle. And that's where we have our problem. Up the middle.
But we also have Hargraves now. So
well, him and Armstead didn't get much time, in the preseason, so they should drastically improve that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping so because they're just running through the gaps, guys. They are super just, slashing and gashing us up. They are just taking it to us. And they showed, there's a couple clips I seen where our linebackers behind missed it was against the Chargers. They totally missed the running back. And that's why he had the big 70-yard run on us. So it's gap assignment. You have to be prepared and you have to know what's going on. You can't just, all balls to the wall and go straight towards that quarterback because somebody has to play spy. Somebody has to stay back because if they do go over the top or something, or if you're supposed to be somewhere, just do assignment football, play where you're supposed to be, and do your job. But I think you guys are right. Armstead coming back in, Hargrave, Drake Jackson. Again, I don't like calling players bust. I think Kinlaw is going to have a way better season this year. I'm really hoping for it. I don't see him sticking around the team even after. If he has a great season this year, I don't see us keeping him. I think we're just going to move off of him. But I think he has the ability to have a really good season this year. I think he's going to dramatically help the team. But I think it's Hargrave. I think Hargrave's going to be the deciding factor. And real quick, you guys, what happened to Conley? I read that it was a shoulder injury, but then in the game when I was watching, they said I thought I heard him say it was a broken wrist. So I Googled it. I talked to Tony, and when we were talking and doing our show last night, she said she thought it was a shoulder injury. And I Googled it again, and I think it is a shoulder injury. It was when he had the dive out catch for Sam Darnold.
Yeah, the one really good throw.
Yeah, the only one good throw. It's weird sometimes. Like Sam Darnold can put it out there. He can make you believe he's a good quarterback. There was a couple passes he did okay, I think.
He will throw some passes because he has the arm talent, but then he'll also fail some because that's what he does.
Well, when Sam Darnold stops seeing those shadow wide receivers, he'll be doing good. Yeah. Not funny. Nope. I'm looking up injury update. It just says he's out.
Okay. And Tony found out that Hufanga had I've never heard about this, but a Baker's cyst on the back of his knee.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like some kind of boil or bubble. That doesn't sound fun.
Sounds painful.
It does. It sounds painful. Imagine walking around with a water balloon behind the back of your kneecap, like behind your knee. So again, health, guys. We gotta just stay healthy. But I appreciate everybody coming. We're gonna go ahead and jump out. There's gonna probably be a couple shows jumping on here in a little bit. I appreciate everyone coming. Please like and subscribe to all of our channels. We got Niner Smash Massey. He's a good guy, but he has a channel. And Jason, will you tell everybody about your channel?
I'm the co-host over on Niner Faithful Radio. Just Google that. You'll find us on all the social media stuff.
And then we got Lockdown Corey Davis next to you. Corey's got a great channel. It's Corey with a K. I found out the hard way. There's a Corey with a C too. But type in Corey's name, subscribe to Corey's channel. He does a lot of great stuff, trivia. And I think, Corey, your show, you are going to be starting the weekly pick'ems. And I just seen you sent me the new sheet. So go ahead and tell us about your show.
Well, tonight we're doing just a hangout at 7 p.m. We're going to talk about, the game, that Friday game. We're going to talk about the trade. We're going to talk. And then also I want my panel to come up with questions for the panel to ask answers. Each panel will get a turn to ask a question. And then, Wednesday at 7 p.m., we're going to be doing the week pick. We're going to start the week pick show where we pick each team. So I sent most of the panel this paper here. If you go type in NFL week picks 2023 and it'll come up. You can print them out there, or you can just go either on my what's it called, Twitter, and go to my Twitter, and you can get it off there. Instagram, you go on my profile and get it off there. You go on my Facebook profile and get it off of there.
Yeah, so
And we'll
Corey's gonna be doing the weekly pick'ems every week, and he does a really good job on making sure the sheets are out. You can go and Google them, and they might not be the same lineup, but if you Google Corey and you go to his Facebook, like he was saying, you can print out the weekly sheet, and it'll be the same way he breaks down the weekly count when we're doing the shows on. I think you said Thursday night.
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. Okay. So on Wednesday nights when we do the pick'ems, because Thursday night, again, that would be the night of the game. So silly me.
Yeah.
So tune in Wednesdays, and then on Sundays, tune in for the reveal, and we'll break down the show, and we'll break down the opponents and go over some of the bigger victories, and just, kind of have fun with all the scores. So next to me is David McNiner. He's got a great channel as well. He's a good co-host, good friend, and you guys can probably see us around a lot. But David, tell them about your channel. You are growing as well, and it's a lot of fun working with you.
So tomorrow night we have Niners Coast to Coast with this guy right here, Aaron from the 49ers First Takes, and Ty Austin from East Coast Red and Gold, and his channel is Stay Faithful Podcast. And we'll be talking about, the Niners Chargers post game and 49ers news. Hopefully we get some good news on Nick Bosa's contract. It seems like this is never going to end. But, it comes a certain point in time where you just have to sign the man, or he's not going to be available for the season. Then what are you going to do, John Lynch? Are you going to start fining him? This is where John Lynch, kind of being a former player, gets in the way of the business a little bit. I've seen that here and there. He won't franchise tag a guy, and he doesn't like to get mean with the players because, let's face it, he used to be one.
That's a good point. It does seem like Lynch is on the side of the players, which you want them to feel like, hey, you could come to me, I can help you. We're not just, it's not just a job here. We're a family, we're a community. But sometimes when you need somebody just to sign the paper and get them in, everything's going to work out at the end. Let's just get you in. Let's go. Sometimes I think there has been a little bit of a holdback, but again, shout out to John Lynch. He did the best he could do for Trey Lance, who's done the best I think he could do for a lot of players. But now it's time for you to call Bosa and let's get Bosa and, Lynch, you should make this happen. This is now on Kyle, and this is on Lynch to make this year happen. We're counting on you guys to lift a trophy. We want to be Super Bowl champions. We don't want to be anything other than Super Bowl champions this year. So, guys, come back later, check the video. If you haven't liked, I'll be putting the descriptions in of everybody's channel here. I sometimes need a little bit of time to do that, but come back. You'll be able to follow everybody. Check us out on Twitter. We're there. Facebook. We're always around. We appreciate you. Go Niners. Stay faithful. We'll see you guys later.
Go Niners and F those Lambs.
All right, guys. We'll be
All
catching.
right.
Go ahead, Corey.
Go 49ers and F all other 30 teams, 31 teams.
Jason, you got a call out yet?
No, actually, I don't have one yet.
All right. I like saying stay faithful, everyone, and we'll see you next time. All right.
Can't go
We're
wrong
out.
with that.